Iran is planning to move its capital, lock, stock and barrel, just like you and I move houses. And if you're wondering why, briefly, because Tehran is plagued with problems which have become unfixable. So in this video, that's what I will explain. Hello and welcome, I'm Abhishek Singh and you're watching The Mint. And we're talking about why Iran wants to move its capital, how feasible that plan is, what it will entail, the risks involved, and what this means for both the Iranian regime and of course, the Iranian people. Let's try to find the answer to that question first. In one line, the answer to that question is Tehran is sinking, literally. Apart from other problems that metaphor may stand for, let's first focus on the literal meaning of that. The city is crumbling under its own weight. According to a leaked confidential letter from Iran's National Cartographic Center, Iran is sinking at a rate of roughly 5 inches a year. As per other reports, the rate could be as much as about 10 inches a year. Briefly, the phenomena is known as subsidence. This is driven by groundwater loss, dam construction, and a booming population. And as per a 2018 report from the Center for Progress and Development of Iran, the city's population could increase by as many as 20 million people over the next 30 years, making city management nearly impossible. As per the Iranian Scientific Association of Urban Economics, Tehran's current population exceeds the city's infrastructure capacity by more than 70%. Imagine the impact on the city infrastructure of an additional 20 million people. Then of course there are other problems like traffic snarls, water shortages, resource management, crumbling infrastructure, extreme air pollution. So moving out is more of a when question, not so much if. Now moving a mountain is easier these days than moving the capital of a country, as that will entail moving the entire administrative paraphernalia of a regime. So is there a city which is ready for Iran to shift its capital to? Of course not. Iran has two choices: move to a smaller city and add whatever it needs over a period of time, or build everything from scratch and then move. Seems like Iran is more interested in building everything from scratch. Look at this pristine coastline. This should give you a clue about the whereabouts of the next Iranian capital. Known among the Iranians and Pakistanis, especially the Baluchis, as the Lost Paradise. Still rather remote and undeveloped. Along this pristine coast, which runs between Iran and Pakistan, on which also lies Iran's only port, which gives it access to the Indian Ocean, right next to the Gulf of Oman and at the mouth of the Strait of Hormuz. This strip of land, known as the Makran Coast, has emerged as the strongest candidate as a location for Iran's next capital. So why does Iran want to shift its capital from Tehran to Makran? Now I heard this line from a real estate mogul once, and it's so apt for the situation. All things real estate are always about location. Iran's ruling elite believes Makran is ideal for the new capital, as it is close enough to a major trade corridor between India and Russia, at the mouth of the Strait of Hormuz, right next door to a major port in Chabahar, which means the city will benefit from trade. At the same time, it is far enough from other major population centers to prevent domestic uprisings, something which scares the Iranian regime the most. So in this context, distance is advantageous for the Persian clergy. Now this Herculean task would cost Iran tens of billions of dollars and could take up to 25 years. Official estimates put the cost at $10 billion, but that figure could easily rise to $50 billion when including urban planning, land acquisition, and infrastructure construction or more. Key reason behind moving the capital is also to ease Tehran's burdens and create conditions for socio-economic development in other provinces of the country. Shifting the base to Makran could lead to commercial advantages as well, as the new location is by the Persian Gulf. This would allow for better product processing and logistics. As of now, raw materials are imported across the sea and then transported to Tehran for manufacturing before being sent back south for export. A manufacturing hub closer to the southern coast would mean reduced transportation costs, better productivity, and allow for the emergence of a new center of economic activity. But how will the regime convince the Iranians to move? Obviously, it cannot simply instruct them to sell their homes, pack their bags, and move. The move would require significant government leadership and investment in infrastructure to make it viable. The relocation also carries security concerns. Makran, in fact, is very close to the Persian Gulf. And what's in the Persian Gulf? The US Navy's Fifth Fleet, making the capital vulnerable to attacks from the sea. And that is a major downside. Also, this is not the first time that the idea of moving the capital has been proposed in Iran. It first came up in 1979, before the Islamic Revolution. It was even discussed during Ahmadinejad's presidency and later revived during Rouhani's administration. But for multiple reasons, it could not be done. The reason it seems it might just happen this time is because the IRGC is supporting the relocation, as this could offer the regime much-needed protection from being close to population centers, which have been the focal points of mass protests and anti-government uprisings. Mukran, located roughly 1,500 kilometers from Tehran, will for the foreseeable future remain far away from such elements. What do you think about Iran's decision to move its capital? For more such stories, don't forget to like and share this video and to subscribe to The Mint.